Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back. It is another edition of JJ and Alex right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah, Jensen. If you are a person who obsesses over your team during the weekend, you live and die by that team that you have no business living and dying by, welcome to the club. Thanks for being a part of the program. You're right at home.
If you live and die by the Utes, how many times did you have to get the defibrillator out on Saturday?
I had an interesting conversation.
I wish I could have watched that with a group of Utah fans.
Yeah.
Just to get the feeling of the ups and downs and the roller coaster ride that was.
So I have a lot of friends and family who are Utah season ticket holders, okay?
Oh.
And my brother-in-law and my sister were at the game, and they had their kids with them. That's a recipe for you don't – it's easy to say, hey, we should probably get going at some point. But they didn't because they're actually – I mean, they're going to be there. You know what I mean? And their little kids won't allow it, right? And there was a moment where – because I said, tell me what the – and I was asking somebody else who works up in the booth. I go – and they're part of the review team for the – they're just doing the back and forth about – they're pretty – but they've been doing this for years. And I said, tell me where this ranks. Because I was in the building for 43-42 when Cam put it over the
USC, yeah.
That was probably number one. Number two, I actually took both of my sons to the Oregon-Utah game when Covey returned that one. Did that make it 28-0 before the half? And
7 maybe.
And they're wearing the USS Salt Lake City helmets and stuff, and the place is just absolutely exploding.
Yep.
And I was like, where does that compare to those? And they were both like, it's pretty good. The problem was a lot of people left. And I was like, oh. And I forgot. Kyle said it too. Kyle's almost in tears, and he's talking about, yeah, I'm glad that there were people that stuck around who did. Because actually there were a lot of people who left.
Yeah.
I got to be places. Can't deal with this.
They were down 10 in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. And
they were down 13.
If they get that 2-point conversion, they're up 14.
Right.
With how much time left?
12. They were down 12 with like 2:47 left.
And the defense had not gotten a stop since the first series.
Right. Suddenly they get it. And guess what? You're in business. So, but again, fandom is fickle, and, I get it. I get why people would leave early. I get it. You've got places to be. You've got stuff you got going on. But at the same time, there must have been some people driving home that went, oh, boy.
I think some people left angry.
Oh, 100%. Well, and there were some people who still don't like how this thing went.
Watching a football game where, just as a fan of the game of football, I was more frustrated watching a defense try to get stops.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm confused. Like, this is Utah. Okay. What the hell is going on?
So when I think that fourth or fifth touchdown, I lost count at that point. When they ran in the 80-yard touchdown, what's his name? Joe Johnson Jr.?
Exactly. What's his name? Nobody had even heard of this kid.
So he goes.
Kansas State couldn't run the football all season long.
Yeah. When he goes through the 80 yards on the big one, the fans were booing when he was at the 20.
I know.
You know what I mean? They're not booing him, by the way. They're booing the Utah team. They're booing Morgan Scalley. They're booing the defense. It was so to go from that to the clinching moment when Lander Barton slides in with that pick. Quite a different feel right there, right? So what I hated about it was and I don't know when we got to this point, JJ. You tell me when we got to this point. When beating a team and just winning in a conference game was good enough for people to go, you know what? Yeah, but they freaking beat everybody in front of them that they were asked to beat, right? In the 2004 and 2008 seasons, there's a game or two on those schedules where you're like, they had no business winning a game or two on each one of those. It happens. You have close games on weeks that you don't necessarily.
The 2004 team had a scare against Air Force, but ended up winning big. And then, of course, the 2008 team had that game at New Mexico.
It was
like
goal.
A trip to the dentist.
Yes, and it was like a field goal difference against a bad New Mexico team.
Right.
And then you go, what happened? Right? And he goes, well, you just can't. Sometimes you're having a struggle of a week, and the other team has found they have found gold in that moment. And you have to account for that in college sports. You have to account for it.
Only if you're in the SEC and the Big Ten. Everybody else, no. You don't get a pass.
That's what I'm saying is like I don't really understand because all I could think of was the committee is going to love if they need to. They have in their back pocket. Well, that defense did give up 485 yards on the ground, which is an insane number.
What did they do to BYU 3 weeks ago?
Right.
They can't wait to punish Utah. And guess what? On Tuesday night, Utah's going to get punished.
I don't think so.
Yes, they will.
Come on. Texas A&M didn't get punished
for 2 spots.
Texas A&M didn't get punished.
2 spots.
They and the team they played was a 3-7.
But they're in the SEC. It means more. What an incredible comeback that was.
Why was it
down
not incredible?
31-3. What an incredible comeback against South Carolina, who was 3-7 after the game. Incredible comeback though. No, they're not going to say that about Utah. They're going to talk about
there's a lot of
things. Let Joe Jackson run for 293 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Joe Jackson.
He averaged 12.2 yards per carry.
Not bad.
He had an 80-yard touchdown run.
The 80-yard touchdown run, and people were booing before he's in the end zone. I thought that was the most like fan situation I've ever seen in my life. People booing before he's even scored. People had that much time to be annoyed by it.
It was enraging. Just anybody who watches football wanted to throw something at the TV.
Awesome.
Because it looked like Utah was playing without linebackers.
It was awesome. I'm telling you. Fun time for people. I mean, it used to be, we used to classify that game as a classic. And now you're looking at it and going, ooh, is it enough?
The committee's not going to like
this.
this.
Isn't that annoying? Man,
I think
so
that Utah's at-large playoff hopes are done.
You think that actually
they'll punish them so hard on Tuesday night that they won't be able to get back in the mix.
That's bonkers.
Because there's a couple teams that are going to move ahead of them.
All right. Well, we've got lots to talk about. That among many other things. So let's officially get the show started here. Alex Kirry in this seat. That's Jeremiah Jensen. We've got the cameras on in the studio. You can stream, of course, this program. What do you? Did you just put up your mug to that?
Just threw it Stanley.
What do you have in that thing there?
Diet Coke Lime.
All right.
Love it.
Yeah, man. Wait,
you asked. I told you.
Did they get you over here?
Downstairs.
But I mean, it's in the free. It's from the free till.
Yeah.
I might get into it. I might have to crack myself a free soda today.
It's a nice benefit of working here.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's kick the show off officially. Alex Napo's hitting the buttons. He's going to do one right now. It's called The Cut.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program. TRAJANwealth.com. Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. All right, starting things off, right off the bat, Kyle Whittingham talking about this rush defense. Now, I've never seen a team that is a top 10 defense and a Utah defense look so unable to stop a team from running the football. Like, it just seemed, and I wondered, they felt like they were getting lucky every run. But it was so weird to see how it went down. Here's what Kyle Whittingham said after the game on what went wrong with that rush defense.
It was an A-gap power play where it started strong side and cut it back, and we continually didn't defend it the right way. We were out of square. We were losing gaps, and so obviously we didn't do a good enough job as coaches to getting them ready to play, especially that particular play. But it was that one play did the majority of the damage. They just ran it over and over, and we just didn't do a good enough job as coaches, so that's on me.
That was rough to watch. What was the final number then, the rushing total for Kansas State in that game?
472 yards rushing.
Where does
the most ever given up in Utah football history.
Yeah, so and with good reason, which is crazy why. But here's what's crazy is they won the game. They won the game. And what did they do to be able to win this game? You know, the touchdown pass in the corner of the end zone was as beautiful as we've seen a pass thrown. Devin Dampier is a fickle pass thrower. He could either be like not hit the broadside of the barn, or he could put it right on the dang money. But they also don't ask him to do it. And, of course, the way that they converted at the end was on the ground. Bird Ficklin comes in the game and scores the first 2 on the ground for this team. And it was the 59-yard rumble there at the end that you knew what was coming next. Utah was going to win that football game. When they were able to do that again and again and again, because they did the same thing, they had 250-plus yards on the ground as well. Both teams combining for almost 1,200 yards of offense, JJ. It was as crazy of a situation. Every one of us had Utah scoring around in the same time. I was the crazy person in our group on College Football Saturday for saying 38. Annapolis, you were probably in the mid-40s. I think Christian Esparza was the same, but then we all said something around the teens, 10, 15, 17 for Kansas State. Nobody pictured Kansas State scoring 47 points. And so, but you have to win those games. And all they did is just win every game that they were asked to after their season was on the line. If they win this week at Kansas, right? If they do it and they're 10-2, it's going to be a difficult 10-2 because people aren't going to remember that you had a 10-2 season on Kyle Whittingham's final year. Am I being crazy for thinking that? Am I in that camp? Did he get emotional after that game because he knew it was his last senior night?
He said today those evaluations happen in the off season, but I think in the moment on that day, I think the thought of that being his last game at that stadium,
man, I wish he would
probably crossed his mind.
I wish he would have just said it. That was my last home game coaching at the University of Utah. I wish he would have said it.
It would become a distraction for the rest of the
Why?
season.
For one game?
Why? Of course it would.
The game was the senior.
They've still got one more game left, and
at
then
Kansas. Who cares? Win that. They're going to win that game.
There's still a lot. I mean, I don't think the committee is going to love what happened. We'll find out on Tuesday, but technically they're still alive for a college football playoff berth. You think Kyle wants the discussion to be his future?
Kyle Whittingham, calling Kalani Sitake during the week, asked him, how do you handle those questions about the committee and all that stuff? Oh, you taught me, coach. I just tell him that's not up to me, and I don't know how to say it. Instead of lobbying for your team, here's what he says. He doesn't do that kind of stuff.
I don't think it's an ugly win. I mean, it was a close win, but it was an exciting game. And, to me, a win's a win. I'm never one that's going to sit here and lobby for whether we should be in or not. I don't believe in that. The play on the field speaks for itself. We're 9-2, got a chance to get to 10 if we take care of business next week, and we'll see if that's good enough.
9-2. We all had Utah kind of around this win-loss total, which is it's crazy why we get so up in our head. I think you and I both had Utah at 10-2, right? I don't know. This is what the College Football Playoff Committee does now. It makes 10-2 seasons look less of a big deal than they used to be.
Because
a 10-2 season used to be amazing.
Or bust. Doesn't matter what your record is.
I know, but even for teams that had no business sniffing the college football playoff at the beginning of the year, like Utah was kind of in that camp. They had to do a lot to prove to get back there. We were buying in because we know what Kyle Whittingham can do. BYU's going through this too. They might have an 11-1 season, and it would be massively disappointing because they'll go to the.
If they get to 11-2, then because they're going to miss out.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's crazy.
How would you grade BYU's season last year?
Like on what scale?
Like at any scale. Like what?
A plus. 10. I don't know. Compared to the year before,
was it a great season?
Yes, of course it was.
Yes,
especially
it was.
Based off of
but
what.
Did people feel like it was a great season at the end?
I think
the bowl game made it feel better, but
last year,
knowing how close you were to doing something special and just missing out because a ball hit a guy and took a weird bounce on a punt. That's hard to stomach.
So,
but that's football.
But on top of that, with all that in mind, with all those things in mind, BYU's 11-1 possibility, finishing the regular season 11-1 and going to the conference championship game, it will be graded differently because of last year's performance. The year before, BYU's year before performance in 2023 made last year to where people had this tremendous amount of hope. But if you go 11-1 in regular season, and so you were technically better this year than you were last year, and you were almost in last year, then you just feel slighted. Here's what Coach Kyle Whittingham said, because if anything, he's nothing if not the guy who still goes after his coaches and players at halftime. That's why you love what Kyle Whittingham does. Here's what he said about what he said to the coaches in the defense at the half.
I lit into the defense pretty good. I said, that's not who we are. There's times to coddle and there's times to get after them, and I felt that was the time to do that. That was my message, and they responded. They didn't flinch. They didn't hang their head. They got the message loud and clear, and not that we are as good as we needed to be in the second half either. I mean, we were at the end there, but we still were not who we usually are. But offense had been productive, and just tell them, hey, your job is to go out and score first drive and cut the deficit to 3, and they did. They did successive drives. They scored, but defense, they knew. They're smart kids. They understand, and got after the coaches too, because we weren't doing our best job coaching.
I love how he said that. Look, there's times to coddle him, and there's times to do that to him. And I was like, he's never coddled. He's talking about other coaches. I think like when he says that, there's time to coddle and there's time to do that.
What he thinks coddling is probably what the average human being thinks coddling is.
Yeah. It's like that, that Vietnam era dad who the only thing he can do is like barely give his son like a nod as he's going off to college. Yeah. That's Kyle Whittingham's version of the coddling. Yeah. Devin Dampier, one of the guys who's made a massive impact, of course, for this team, talked about how big of a deal it was to have the senior night that night and kind of what the effect it had during the game for him.
Our team's come a long way from the beginning. It being senior night, they led the charge the whole way here. So this is the first time where we've been tested, where we've been down. Things just aren't going right on both sides of the ball. So the fact that we came in the locker room and said we got each other, believe until that clock says 0, because this is a special team. We're going to do something with it. Man, finish out the game strong.
Does the team deserve to be punished for a win that was that close against the Kansas State team that's now 5-6 on the year?
Do you come away from that game watching that defense perform the way they are and think that that's an elite team in the country?
It's not that I don't.
How would that team do if they play like that?
But they've been elite all season long
against Alabama. How would that defense do against Texas A&M?
Well, that run defense that night, I think, would have been bad against a handful of teams, right?
But what makes us think that that's not going to reappear? This is not the first time they've struggled in the run. Let me throw this out. I don't know if people know this. Where do you think they rank nationally in rush defense right now?
Well, after a weekend like that.
Well, this has not been. I mean, were they good against the run against BYU and Texas Tech?
I'd say they're in the mid-30s. Probably after this
mid-30s.
I'd say after this week, probably in the 55-ish.
They're now 100th in the nation in rush defense.
I don't think I've ever heard that in my life.
Utah, the University of Utah's rush defense is now ranked 100th in the country.
But what were they the week before? Because I think adding 400 and something yards.
Where do you think they are in total defense?
Oh, that took them down again too. I think total defense they were actually like maybe 25th going into this week.
Okay.
So I'd say they're probably mid-30s now.
51st. Oh. 51.
They went down a solid that cut them down a full 25 extra spots.
It was a pretty severe letdown.
Yeah.
And then scoring defense, they were top 10 in scoring defense coming in. Nope. They fell into the teens. They're now 16th.
Nah, that's crazy.
But that rush defense, this is not the first time. Remember Bear Bachmeier carrying 2 or 3 guys into the end zone in that game.
Ooh.
That was a defining play of that game. A freshman quarterback came in and ran all over them in the Texas Tech game, and then their run game got going, and they blew the game open. It was not a pass issue at all in that game. They couldn't stop the run in the fourth quarter.
Hold on a minute. Hey, Alex Napolis. This is between Napolis and I. Do you feel like he's like – I feel like he's just channeling the committee. I think he's just getting fans ready for what the committee's going to say. You're going all in on criticizes because now the committee's going to be like this. I heard this guy in Salt Lake. Here's where we go, guys. You ready for this? Now, hear me out. This Jeremiah Johnson fellow in Salt Lake City.
At least they got the first name right.
He comes on and he told me all we need to know. They're 100th in rush defense. Mike, run with it. Go answer questions to the media. Oh, thank heavens. They run out hot off the presses. JJ in Salt Lake City gives the playoff committee all the ammunition they didn't know about this Utah team, why they shouldn't make it.
Sorry.
Oh. Well, hold on a minute. Now, from a Big 12 standpoint, where do they rank in the rushing? Because now,
I'd have to get out the Big 12 rankings.
So I'm looking at it right here.
While you're doing that, in contrast, let me tell you this about the offense. Utah's offense is now 6th in the country in scoring offense. Did you ever think you'd see a Utah offense ranked in the top 10 in scoring? They are right now. They are number 2 in the country in rush offense.
That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. Utah 13th, by the way, out of 16 in the Big 12 on rush defense. That's not good.
It's not. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
This is a defense. It's always stout against the run.
Total defense, Utah 7th.
Middle of the pack?
Yep.
Unacceptable.
Yeah. Total offense, number 1.
Incredible.
That's crazy. Like you would have.
Jason Beck.
I know. If you would have listen,
that offense and that offensive line.
If some wild fortune teller came up to you and goes, "Your team will be dead last in conference in rush defense, but number 1 offense," you know, that was my Eastern European psychic lady voice. Okay, you will be number 1 in defense, or number 1 in offense, dead last in defense.
You Romanian now? What is that?
Yeah, and then you go.
Something very Eastern.
You would say
there.
that is a lie.
Yeah.
You sit on a throne of lies. Yet here we are. So there you go.
Yeah, I think it's obvious. The run defense is not okay. It's not good enough. And what happened on Saturday was abysmal. And there's no answers because it was simply, you can go watch the film. I'm not going to call out players individually. You can watch the film and see what it is. But missed assignment after missed assignment after missed assignment, and bad communication, not talking. It looked like guys didn't know where they're at. Like I said, it looked like they took the linebackers out of the game. There was that much space between the defensive line and the secondary that wasn't filled with any defenders. It was bizarre. So the defense deserves to be called out today. Trust me, they're getting it worse, far worse than anything we're saying on the radio today, in practice, in film room. Because that was unacceptable. And where Utah's rush defense is this year is beyond unacceptable. That is not Utah football. And they're searching for answers right now. And if you want to be a college football playoff team and you want to win a Big 12 championship, Utah needs to be what they've always been. And that defense has not been good enough. It's gotten them to this point, but you have to give credit to the offense for carrying. Did you ever think you'd see a Utah team being carried by their offense? You can honestly look at the stats and say, this team is where they're at this year because the offense has been dramatically improved. 51-47. Trust me, that wasn't the defense on Saturday. That offense was unbelievable to keep them in that game and fight and claw and scratch and make big plays. And I'll let you say something, but I got it before we go to break. I have to shout out Devin Dampier. Go ahead.
All I was going to say was, the idea of Kyle Whittingham going, you know what committee? He calls the committee up first and goes, defense wins championships. We don't deserve to be in. Bye.
Right. Probably not.
Look, they've done some exceptional. They're going to be 10-2 after this week.
Exactly. And they found a way.
When you say dead last in if you say dead last in any category of anything, the only thing that matters is that 10-2. It's the only thing that matters.
You're right. You're 100% right. Unless you're trying to make the college football playoff and the committee is dissecting everything you do, and they're looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
They are looking for an excuse to put Miami ahead of you. They are looking for an excuse to put Vanderbilt ahead of you. They are looking for an excuse to prevent you from moving into the top 10, which would get you in that playoff. Because there's going to be some chaos here in the next week or two.
Oh, for sure. Oh, and what's great is that after the SEC just got through their cupcake week, there's actually some games that are going to be more in nothing.
The Egg Bowl.
Nothing.
Keep an eye on that.
Nothing moves around at all.
Right.
In the college football playoff. I don't even think Utah gets dinged at all this week. I think they're going to continue to stay where they're at.
So.
I don't think you put Miami ahead of those guys. There's no freaking way. Miami's not even going to be in the ACC championship game, and yet we're going to be talking about a Miami team who's likely going to get a nod over a second Big 12 team.
I'm just terrified that
the ACC is going to have the 16th ranked team versus the 18th ranked team if they were to play this week, and somebody gets to go straight to the front of the line. And then guess what? A G5 team that probably has no business being in this thing because this year it's actually a mess.
Jake Retzloff and Tulane.
Could you imagine? They're right there.
Whoever wins the American is
probably going to do it.
I don't think James Madison has enough.
Here's the interesting thing, though, is watching that thing play out. You have to reevaluate why there's an auto bid for a G5 team.
Have we become that market now?
Means we've graduated to a higher level.
We're the snobs now? You're going to try to keep the little guy out, Alex?
Whatever it is.
Is that you?
Look, I respect Bronco Mendenhall. Has anybody got that down yet? I think it's great what he's doing there, but let's just talk about what the resources are that these teams they're playing up against, the players, the talent. Listen, and by the way, if you're getting one G5 team in as like a little pity, like thank you very much, and you're excluding probably 4 or 5 teams that should be way ahead of them to be in front of that, because that's what we're talking about. The G5 champion is going to have between 5 and 8 teams that are better than they are getting in, and that are not getting into the college football playoff. So
you sound like the guy everybody in this market hated 10, 15 years ago. You sound like that guy.
I'll big time people. If I put on a Southern accent and big time you, no offense.
Now that BYU and Utah have hit the big time, so have you.
This is how they talk, and so that's how they taught me. This is how they talk. Why on earth would a G5 team be allowed to be getting in the playoff, and we're talking about teams like BYU and Utah that actually won't get in at all after it's all said and done? It's crazy. It's bonkers to me. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we return, we've got more to jump into. Happy Monday to you. Thanks for being with us on the program. The rest of the world across college football, I want to get into some of the things that are going off of the field as well. Lane Kiffin, Jeremiah Love, of course, showing how good he is as a running back for Notre Dame. Where is he in the hierarchy of vote getters? We have a Heisman voter in the room. It's Jeremiah Jensen, and I just want to kind of get his vibe on some guys that he's got his eyeballs on. So stay right here with us. More to go, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It doesn't get much bigger than this as the Cougars look to earn a spot in the Big 12 title game as they take on UCF in Provo. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. It's a grunge type of day, huh? It was cold, though, today, I'll tell you that much.
Chilly. We're getting close to wintertime here in Utah. You know what that means. It's college football season's almost over.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Sad.
That is the worst. Hey, by the way, this Wednesday's a Win Ticket Wednesday, like it is every Wednesday on the station. Tune in all Wednesday long, and we're going to be hooking you up with tickets to see Nate Bargatze, the Big Dumb Eyes Tour, coming to Delta Center December 4th through the 6th. I think it started out with the 4th, and then it went to the 4th and 5th, and then now it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Nate Bargatze, you're welcome for that Christmas bonus from the people of Utah.
Who won the tickets? Nobody knows. It's a Bargatze reference.
Yeah, it is.
You got it.
Great seats still available, by the way, at SeatGeek.com, or you can just win them all day long on a Wednesday on a Win Ticket Wednesday across the station. All right, college football, Week 13. Hey, Georgia Tech, we knew who you were all season long. Now you're starting to show who that was. Thank you very much for participating. What are they going to dip to? If the committee would, if they could get away with it, would put Georgia Tech out of the top 25 all the way. But they know that's not necessarily how it works. But they'll give them a nod. It's fine.
I mean, you can't put them ahead of Virginia at this point, right?
No.
So there's 7-3. So it's interesting. In the last one, they have a 3-loss Tennessee at 20.
Mm-hmm.
Houston's going to fall out. Tulane should stay.
I think Arizona should get a consideration.
Arizona should get in. I think Arizona's better than Georgia Tech, to be quite honest. But they lost to Pittsburgh 42-28 at home.
Yeah, but that's a good Pitt team, though. Okay. Quality Pitt team.
Okay.
You know, because they got beat by Notre Dame. They're a quality team.
Yeah.
That's the argument, right? Yeah, they're a quality team. They lost to Notre Dame. What? What committee? Nobody asks, and then the committee comes up and goes, they lost a great game. That's a great team that was just beaten this weekend. They lost to Notre Dame. Yeah, all the greats lose to Notre Dame. Put them all up there. And not only that, if you beat Notre Dame, you may as well be a top 5 team. Miami looking at you. Great job for not doing anything except for beating Notre Dame. Good job. Hey, how much shifted in your mind about this Heisman race? Jeremiah Love's getting a lot of attention.
He's
unfortunately,
the hot guy right now.
Right, it's kind of the media attention. However much people like to get on the Jeremiah Love bandwagon, you have to do 50% more as a running back to win the Heisman, right? Like, you got to be something different.
Well, it
because who was the last person to win it? Derrick Henry maybe was the last running back probably to win this thing?
It really depends on the quarterbacks. And I think this year is a year where it's open. Yes, Mendoza's been great with Indiana. He's had some great moments. The comeback against Penn State was probably the last one. And so he's kind of been the sitting favorite. Diego Pavia is actually somebody you have to consider. Not one of my top 3 right now, but a lot of people have him there. Marcel Reed at Texas A&M.
Remember back in the day when they go, he finished 11th in Heisman voting? I always love that. And it'd be like, they put it on their resume. I was 11th in Heisman voting. But you guys only do top 3, right?
You only vote for the top 3. Yes.
Okay.
So, I think it's a year where Jeremiah Love could do it. I think
crazy.
It depends on how he ends this season. The problem, and one of the things that's a knock for Jeremiah Love, maybe it's a blessing, we'll see, is he doesn't have a conference championship game. And you've heard other voters that have come on here. I will not make a vote final until after the conference championship.
So they technically matter.
Done.
Are they
100%.
But they're not. But they don't let you.
100%.
They let you
have
guys
to evaluate
decide
the entire body of work.
Yeah.
And when it's close, that last game matters.
Yeah. All right. So
last running back to win the award.
It's got to be Derrick Henry.
It was in 2015. You are correct.
So
well done.
Because it just is. You don't get a lot of them, And then even then, think about what. The guy who was there was Alabama's wideout, Smith.
Yeah, Devontae Smith. Like
you got to do way extra to be a wideout winning that thing. Jeremiah Love, great. Okay, so you don't have to say yes or no because I don't know what you can't say. Can you say a 3-2-1 right now? Here, I'll do it for you. You just tell me what you think right now.
You want me to give you a top 3?
Okay, let me guess on yours. Jeremiah Love 3. 2 is Mendoza from Indiana. And then don't answer, Arch Manning number 1. And don't answer.
Well, apparently there's some people out there that think I should give him consideration.
Don't answer.
And Texas extra consideration.
Don't answer, but
we really need to dig deeper into their profile. We really do.
Coach of the Year, Bill Belichick. Quarterback of the Year, Arch Manning. Come on. That's bonkers. All right.
So I would tell you right now, today.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you 1, 2, 3 the order.
Right, but people who
you like.
I'll give
you three right now today that I think that are at the top is Love, Mendoza, and probably Julian Saint of Ohio State.
No Dante Moore at all in yours.
No.
In your top 3.
No.
All right.
No. Marcel Reed's probably you got to consider. I mean that comeback against South Carolina. I know they were down 33 at halftime, but he led that comeback. And it saved their season, honestly, because I don't know where they would be if they didn't get that done.
I was pretty glad that
he doesn't have the stats that Mendoza has.
I was pretty glad we don't have to hear anything else about USC the rest of the way, right?
No,
I'm confident we're not going to hear anything else about. Now, I will say this: I don't know what bowl projection you put in the rundown, Annapolis, but one that I did see was BYU versus USC in the Alamo Bowl. I wouldn't hate that. But an Alamo Bowl 2 years in a row for BYU and playing against a USC team who probably didn't even want to be there just because they're lame and they don't like to be anywhere.
On paper, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
But how many USC players are actually going to play in that game?
I was going to say, now that I said it out loud, did I see Keaton Slovis attempted a pass?
He did.
This week?
He completed it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Are those his stats in the
Devin Lloyd knocked on the quarter, Jacoby Brissett out of the game for a moment.
Yeah.
And they had to bring Keaton Slovis right now is the backup quarterback.
I couldn't even believe that.
For the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe that.
He did complete a pass, but then that ended the drive.
Bonkers.
And it actually wasn't for -2 yards, I think.
All right, so what Notre Dame did against Syracuse, putting up 70 points, that's a huge deal. And I do wonder. I wonder what you'd have to do to be able to get there. To be a team like BYU or even like Utah, to be in that consideration, that win over Syracuse pretty much solidified it for everybody. Something that people already had solidified, and that is that Notre Dame can't be knocked out of the spot that they're in right now. They're going to be sitting comfortably in that 9th spot or 8th spot. By the time it's all said and done, they'll probably be like 7. When some wins and losses happen in the top 10.
Let me just throw out a crazy scenario.
I love these.
Okay, they're traveling across the country to the West Coast.
Okay.
They're going to play at Stanford. They're going to be comfortable. They think they got things wrapped up. This is Stanford's bowl game. I mean, they have a shot at Notre Dame.
This is their college football playoff.
This game's going to kick off.
Their bowl game was the first round against Cal this last week.
They beat Cal.
And they beat Cal.
And they got a coach fired. So they're proud of that.
They love that.
Even though they don't know who their coach is.
What a disaster.
Now, I'm not saying Stanford's going to win this game. In fact, the matchup predictor for ESPN gives Stanford a 4.5% chance of winning this game.
The reality is that if Stanford upsets Notre Dame, BYU would be in the college football playoff, I think.
Yes, they would.
That would be, because even if they go to the college football, or even if they go to the conference championship game and they lose to Texas Tech, an 11-2 BYU schedule.
BYU and Utah need chaos, and this is a chaos situation.
They would be a little bit of chaos.
That game kicks off at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is the time zone for Notre Dame. Now,
how far does Ole Miss fall if they lose at Mississippi State? Which could also happen. A team who's semi-motivated, they don't know if their coaches.
They fall behind the other two lost teams.
By then, we'll have heard officially that Lane Kiffin is not going to be the coach at Ole Miss. I don't even know what they're going to do with him. I'm going to coach out the season. Not with a bunch of people who don't care to play for you anymore, right? That could be a massive Lane Kiffin being flirted with by LSU, and the contract being signed and being agreed on could put BYU into the college football playoff.
BYU dropped how many spots?
6.
Because they lost on the road to Texas Tech.
6.
So shouldn't Ole Miss drop 5 spots if they lose the Egg Bowl?
Why not?
To a Mississippi State team that
They'd
I don't see here on the top 25.
It'd be a two-loss SEC team.
They would not be in the SEC championship game. They'd be eliminated from that.
Alabama, if they win the Iron Bowl, would be a team that it would be no question between Ole Miss and Alabama which two-loss team should be getting in. It would absolutely have to be Alabama.
Everybody would slide up one, and BYU would be sliding up. Now you worry about BYU being in the Big 12 championship game. Would another loss to Texas Tech drop them from 10 to out? Probably.
What about if Georgia Tech upsets Georgia? That actually probably wouldn't help at all because they moved down to 7.
No, because Georgia wouldn't fall out.
They wouldn't fall that far.
They would be a 2-loss team that would probably get in.
Okay.
Oregon losing to Washington.
Is Texas beating Texas A&M going to be a problem for you? Like, would you
No.
Would you think the committee would say Texas has done enough to maybe be considered? Okay.
That would be a massive jump. They'd have to jump 7 spots.
All right. Where does Michigan go if they beat Ohio State? And a 2-loss, they just beat the number 1 team in the country.
They rocket up pretty high.
Right behind Notre Dame at number 10?
All of you listening right now are not going to like this. If Michigan beats Ohio State again, they'll be in the playoff.
Now, my question is this. Oh, but they wouldn't be able to go to they can't go to the conference championship game because you've got Ohio State and Indiana both undefeated,
correct.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Michigan has 1 loss.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If they but they could
Oregon has 1 loss. Indiana would have none. Ohio State would have 1.
And Ohio State
would lose the tiebreaker to Michigan.
So Michigan might go
but
to
I don't know where Oregon would figure into that. Now, if Oregon loses to Washington, which is not insane, it's not obviously not going to be. Washington is not going to be favored in their home stadium against Oregon, but
that is a chaotic situation, though. That's not a 6 and that's not a 4-7 Washington team. This is an 8-3.
Yeah, they're 5-3
Washington team who is 1-1 against AP top 25 teams this year. They're not afraid of Oregon ever. They're even less afraid of them when they come to Husky Stadium.
And they would love to spoil Oregon's playoff bid.
It's a 10-1 Oregon team against an 8-3 Washington team. Frankly, Washington could be ranked tomorrow whenever they do the thing anyway.
So if Oregon lost to Washington and Michigan beat Ohio State, Michigan and Indiana would be in the Big Ten championship game.
Okay. Ooh, I love all this. Now, Alabama could take themselves out of this thing by losing to, at Auburn. Iron Bowl's played at Auburn.
We've seen crazier things in that rivalry,
yeah,
right?
for sure. That's the Michigan could be unranked in that game. Could be a coin toss.
It was last year,
and it has been the last 4 years.
Michigan won last year. Ohio State won the national championship. They lost to Michigan.
Yeah,
anything is possible.
Okay. BYU, by the way, opened up 18.5-point favorites against UCF. If you're wondering,
they're not losing that game.
That's a lot of points, man.
Chase Roberts get healthy. Get rested.
Stay
get ready
home
for the Big 12 championship.
Stay home. Get your senior blanket and then just lay in it on the sideline. Okay.
And Utah needs Texas Tech to lose to West Virginia? Question mark?
Oh, my gosh. Come on. Oh, yeah, no, they do need it. If they get that, that's the scenario. Now, here's a scenario we might want. They lose that game against West Virginia. Arizona State wins their game. I think that was the scenario. BYU and Utah play in the Big 12 championship game. Come on. Did you see how they decide the home team for the Big 12 championship game? When you actually clinch first, whoever clinches first. If Arizona beats Arizona State on Friday night because it's a Friday night game, BYU clinches without having to beat UCF technically.
Right. Yes.
They would be the home team. This is so dumb. This whole thing is stupid, but I love it. I love all
Arizona's favored to win that game, by the way.
The Territorial Cup is if you're not picking Arizona, you've got issues because I don't think Arizona State's got it against their rival down there in Tucson either. All right, we'll come back. We got more to go. We got our Weekend Warriors, people who won the weekend. Stay here, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
The regular season comes to an end for Kyle Whittingham and the Utes as they hit the road for a battle against Kansas. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Hey, conference leaders in touchdowns in the Big 12, rushing touchdowns. Carson Hansen, or no, not Carson Hansen. Cameron Dickey. Any shock
Makes
there?
sense, no.
Texas Tech's Cameron Dickey. He's third in rushing yards in the conference at 944, but 13 rushing touchdowns. Second in the conference in rushing touchdowns is BYU's Bear Bachmeier with 11.
Wow.
Third in the conference in rushing touchdowns is Bird Ficklin with 10.
Bird is the word.
Bird's got 10 touchdowns.
That's crazy.
Bird's got 10 touchdowns and almost, so he's 5 yards short. He's got 4 yards short of 500 right now. He's got 496. Only rushing at 9.4 per. So got to get that average up.
You got to do better.
You got to get that average up if you want to get respect.
What an electric start to his career. And both Bear and Bird. Can you imagine if they all stuck through 4 years at BYU and Utah?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool to watch these guys scoring at the rate that they are. You know, I mean, Bird's 18th in the conference in average yards per game rushing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's it's something. What is he actually like on the list though? Oh yeah, so Devin Dampier is 14th in the conference in rushing yards. Bird Ficklin is 21st. Bear Bachmeier is 17th in the conference in rushing. LJ first at 1,134 yards, by the way, after the 225-yard performance on Saturday. Hey, that brings us to this Weekend Warriors. Not just those guys having a heck of a situation there. How about this one? How about 40 points? This is an all Utah State Weekend Warriors. Nod to MJ Collins, who just is absolutely lights out right now for that Aggie basketball team.
Cross-court pass back to Collins. He'll shoot another three. That's good. Gets that three ball right back. He's got a career-high 25 points on 5 of 7 from the three-point line. Looking again for MJ Collins. He shoots another three, and he knocks it down. They ran a play for MJ Collins to get another three. He's got 35 on the night, and the Aggies lead by 30, 82-52. Collins is looking for 40. Collins the drive, the layup, he's got it, 40 points. MJ Collins, MJ's got 40. And the Aggie sideline erupts. They knew exactly the number he needed to get to, and now Luke Kearney set to check into the game.
Aggies win their part of their side of the bracket in the Shriners Children's Charleston Classic Good for them. They won the championship game by 34.
I think Utah State's got something with MJ Collins, and you combine him with the guys they already had on the roster. I think they're going to contend and possibly win the Mountain West again this year.
How about this Utah State football team who got the win over the weekend against Fresno State in Fresno? They get bowl eligible, and Bryson Barnes has been huge for that this year.
2nd and goal. Here comes Noah White in motion. Noah gets it. He tosses it back. And now it's a pass for Barnes for a touchdown. And now Garcia's done it again.
Look at that.
Good to hear Al Lewis on the call.
Al Lewis on the call.
Legend.
Scotty out in South Carolina. So Al comes in and picks up the pieces there, and it was phenomenal. Great job.
Now, how about the Aggies? Bowl eligible. They go on the road and
did you call it? I know too. I think you and
Fresno State.
So Annapolis and Esparza both said that they'd beat Fresno. I said no.
Good, I got it wrong.
I said I think that they'll lose this one and they'll win the Boise State game. So now they don't have to, but it would be nice to go 7-5, right?
I didn't see them going down to Fresno. I thought they would have a hangover from blowing the
UNLV
game.
Yeah.
That was such a gut punch of a loss.
Yeah.
But give Utah State credit. That's a mentally tough team. That's a Bronco Mendenhall coach team. You saw the sideline on that second half, jumping up and down the whole time. All the energy in that stadium was on the sideline of Utah State. Great win for the Aggies, and a great season for the Aggies. I think a lot of people wondered if they could get bowl eligible, and they've done it.
I'm ecstatic. Can't you tell? I'm ecstatic for these kids. Thanks, Bronco. Give that guy an energy drink, would you? It's probably not part of his mantra, but
no.
Come on.
Not going to happen.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Got more to go around the corner. Gillette Heating and Air. If you don't know about these guys, our Weekend Warriors are brought to you by Gillette Heating and Air. Right now, get seasonal maintenance done on your furnace for only $59. Before the real cold starts to dip in, go to GilletteHVAC.com to make an appointment. That's GilletteHVAC.com. Right around the corner, let's break down this BYU at Cincinnati win. LJ Martin having a historic season for that Cougar offense, and we'll get the update on the chants happening in the crowd because, that's always fun to be able to dip in on that. Stay with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's another battle for the Aggies, and the KSL Sports Zone has it covered. It's a Black Friday showdown for the Aggies as they welcome in Boise State to Logan. Your home for all the play-by-play coverage of Aggie football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us. I'm going to read something to you here, JJ. The BCS computer rankings are no longer used. But in a simulated BCS model.
Did you find one?
But some simulated BCS models and other computer rankings are still calculated for college football just for the sake of entertainment.
Good.
Yes, it is. That's what we're here for.
We got a top 12?
That's what we're here for. Let me go through here and just tell you.
Now, while you're looking
careful
for
what you wish for, JJ.
The reason why I said that is because we were sitting here talking in the break, and I brought up, Mike Leach, his committee rant, which is one of the all-time greats. Because obviously there's some inconsistency with the committee. It's flawed, obviously. But I thought to myself, back in the day, we hated the BCS because they only took the top 2 teams in the national championship game. What if we actually use computer rankings to determine the top 12 in the college football playoff?
You sure about that?
Give us what would it mean? Would it just mean more?
All right, here's how wild it gets. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Simulated BCS, number 1, Ohio State.
Okay.
CFP committee,
Fine with
Ohio
that.
State, number 1. Simulated rank for the BCS computer. Number 2 is Indiana. Number 2 in the committee's Indiana.
That makes sense.
Simulated number 3, Texas A&M. Also
makes sense.
For the CFP, number 3. Simulated number 4, Georgia. Also number 4 for the committee.
And I'm fine with that right now.
Simulated number 5. No, let's go with the playoff committee number 5. Do you remember who it is right now?
Number 5 is
Texas Tech.
Is Texas
Just to
Tech,
remember.
correct.
Simulated BCS version, Ole Miss is ahead of Texas Tech. you should already take a hint that this might not necessarily be the road you want to go down.
So the number's going to be skewed towards.
Hold on a minute. Stop the vote. I want to go back to whatever we were going back to before we went back to this.
So you're saying that committee thing's not so bad?
How can we rehire those fat dudes from the media who used to just vote on a national champ? Can we get back to that? Hey, who do you think? I think BYU should be champion.
While they suck on their stogie and scotch.
All right, simulated number 6 is Oregon.
Even ahead of Texas Tech.
Even ahead of Texas Tech.
Okay.
Texas Tech is number 7.
Okay.
Oklahoma, number 8. They're number 8 in the college football playoff rankings as well. Simulated number 9, Notre Dame. Also number 9,
also
Notre
line,
Dame.
yeah.
Simulated number 10, Alabama.
Okay.
Simulated number 11, which is college football playoff committee's got 11 at BYU, right?
Correct.
Simulated BCS, BYU number 11.
Okay.
Simulated BCS, Utah number 12.
So it's pretty close.
I think that these
with
old
just
guys,
Texas Tech.
I think these guys are sending in.
spots
I
down.
think these guys are cashing in on a freaking per diem, and they're just punching this into an old BCS freaking CGI, man.
Seriously.
Or AI model.
Okay, now can we go down to the bar lobby? Our work here is done.
You gotta make it look a little different. What do we do? You gotta make it look a little bit different.
Drop Texas Tech down 2.
That's a great idea, Mike.
All right, let's go.
Hey, give Mike an extra cigar. Great idea, Mike. Oh my goodness. Now who's gonna have to sit in front of everybody and make it up how we came up with this? I'll do it. Oh man. Yeah, so BYU and Utah in the simulated BCS rankings as of today would be that. Now, here's the thing though. This is yeah, I don't know what the reality really should be, but the BCS know-how who push this thing out every week. So now that I look at it, so how far along are we here? Yeah. So right now, it just has as of last week. It has before those games were played, by the way. Before last week's games were played. So maybe that changes. Although you'll notice nothing changed because the rankings won't change at all this week. I don't even think Utah is going to get messed with. So, all right, let's kick off the hour officially. I just had to go down that rabbit hole of what the fake BCS would do in 2025, but let's get it going right here. BYU and their win over Cincinnati. What did that look like, sound like, feel like for everybody involved? We'll get it going right now. It's the cut, top of the hour.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Doug Smith brings you this portion of the program. Doug Smith, of course, an incredible selection of Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, and now Mitsubishi in the family of Doug Smith dealers in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. All right, how about this win for BYU at Cincinnati? When LJ Martin ran that last touchdown in, what were you thinking?
I think he deserved it.
I thought he deserved it.
I had no problem with it.
At the same time, I was also like, what's going on here?
At that point,
There's a little part of me that's
Cincinnati's not coming back.
No, of course.
It's a dagger. It's done. It's over.
Yeah,
I
get it.
Goose is cooked.
No, and listen, every BYU fan watching that game was excited because LJ got to 222 yards on the night. By the way, if you're one of those people asking for him getting touches, he got them. 32 carries. What's interesting is that coming into the game, LJ Martin led the conference in attempts per game too. At like 17 3/4.
Yeah.
Which,
as he should.
Do you think that college football is like changed in the sense that like we don't hand the ball off to a guy anymore? People taking the number one rusher in the conference is LJ Martin by yards. He's also the number one in attempts. He takes, and it's not 23.5. It's not 27. You know what I mean? Like, Barry Sanders carrying the ball 38 times doesn't happen anymore in the conference, right?
No.
And so getting that work done on 32 carries is like an old school. I mean, that almost doubles his production of what he normally does every week from a carries standpoint. So they got the carries. And part of it is you ride that wave that's getting you into the end zone. And LJ Martin has been, and he's been doing it a long time, but it felt different the last couple weeks, JJ.
Yeah.
He's been breaking the spirits of teams across from him. TCU, like every one of these teams that wants to make a comeback, it's impossible when you just can't stop that one guy from getting – it's frustrating too because he's getting 6 1/4 on every one of those rushes. And so suddenly it's 3rd and 4.5, or it's 2nd and 4.5. And then suddenly it's 3rd and a half a yard. And then it gets to be first and 10 again, and he does it all over again. And that breaks your spirit as a team. They cashed in on that thing. And here's what Kalani said about LJ after the game, because he was talking about his health. He's talking about how everybody's banged up this time of year, but he even talked about how LJ wasn't 100%, but still, he said he was ready to play even more.
You know, he was doing so good. He's a hot hand. Just keep feeding it to him, and we just needed him to rest a little bit. And there's times that he was pushing Enoch and everybody else out of the way. He wanted to stay in the game. So I know he's not 100%, but man, when he plays with that mindset, it's hard for anybody to stop him.
That was a funny moment when he pulled Enoch Nawahine out of the huddle.
We know who RB1 is
because he went down weird.
He just kind of up a little bit.
And he just kind of shuffled off the field a little bit. And then there was like a little bit of a half of a pause for something that was happening on the field. He took advantage of that to just walk back on the field, and he ripped poor Enoch Nawahine out of the huddle. Like that's some. I remember like that's the kind of stuff that Peyton Manning used to do that kind of stuff. He'd be like, "Get out of the game, kid." Well, I'm in on this rotation. No, you're not. Nope. I decide, and the answer is no. So LJ comes in, takes him out of there, and gets going. In the post game, LJ even referred to it. He's like, "Yeah, I feel," because they were like, "How are you feeling?" And then they're kind of looking at him like, "How are you feeling?" And he said in the post game, "I feel like I could play another game right now." I was like, "All right, settle down, like a little bit." But I like the idea. I think what that does is he is definitely feeling, not just from a confidence perspective, but I think physically, obviously, he feels way better. When he had that moment where he blasted those 2 defenders who didn't take him down, and he went for an extra 3.5 and got the first down on like a 3rd and 4, and he got 5.5, but it took like, after he just got crushed by those guys and then just kept going, it said to me, oh, this guy's at a different level right now. He's playing at a different level. He feels better physically. He feels better from an emotional standpoint. So that was huge. And I think that having a career night is the type of thing that makes people look at this team and they go, oh, people are buying in a little bit more. LJ Martin, having that guy on their team, they're not here at all if he's not doing what he's doing this year. It's great to have Bear Bachmeier, but the bona fide leader of that team, of that offense, I think, is LJ Martin.
Well, I don't think Bear would be able to do what he's doing right now without the
100%.
Production of LJ Martin. And if you're looking nationally where LJ Martin stands out, he's 7th right now in the country in rushing. Which is really impressive. I mean, when's the last time BYU had a top 10 rusher in the country? I'd have to go back and see.
What number is he in the country?
7th.
He's number 7. Oh,
and he's
crazy.
not far off. He's only 2 yards behind Kawan Lacey of Ole Miss for 6th, and he's only 40 back of Keon Owens of FIU to be top 5. So he's in that range, and so he's having that kind of a season. I mean, he's borderline All-American at this point, if you look at it. I mean, how
100%.
how many more running backs in the country have the combination of being in the top 10 in rushing and also being on a team that's really, really good? I mean, Jeremiah Love, who we talked about earlier as a Heisman candidate, is number 3 in the country right now with 1,306 yards and 17 touchdowns. LJ Martin doesn't have the touchdown production, but he's right there. He's not that far off with the yards, and LJ had an injury this year. Remember that.
Right.
So that held him back a little bit. I don't think he missed any games, but it obviously held him back a little bit. So he's in that conversation. He's obviously, to me, it's pretty obvious he's the best running back in the Big 12 this year, and should get consideration for Offensive Player of the Year in the conference. But he's also a player who could end up on some All-American lists by the end of the year. That's the kind of season he's having, and BYU does not have the season they've had without LJ Martin's production. We talked about it. I believe if you go back in our predictions before the season started, I think we all talked about LJ needs a 1,000-yard season this year. He's their go-to guy, and that offense it goes as he goes, and it's been exactly the case.
Do you remember 2 seasons ago in 2023 when we are talking about this BYU team week on week?
Oh, yeah.
And we're having to have Connor Pay on, who's the center of the team.
Are they ever going to get 100 yards in a game?
And it was like 68.5. You know what I mean? Like it was so
Remember
bad.
Kansas?
It was so bad.
They couldn't get anything going in the run game.
So to have that swing happen, and last year it got better, and then this year they're, obviously LJ's leading the conference in all of the significant categories of the running back position.
That's a great point. The progress of BYU's run game and the success that's come along with it. You must be able to run the football. Where would Utah be right now if they couldn't run the football?
Oh, my goodness. Kalani talking about this team, and I think that it shows a lot for them to go out to Cincinnati, and because it's not just that. Look, everyone's still talking about the Texas Tech loss. It'd be easy to get bogged down into that, but here's what he said about the team showing some resiliency and being proud of what they did in that game against Cincinnati.
It's our kind of style. We like winning a lot of different ways, so I'm proud of the way the guys did it. I'm glad that we had to count on LJ and O-line and all the tight ends, everybody blocking to win the game. I was proud of the way the guys did it. So I like their response to any adversity we get, and so that's a lot of the leadership. Even though Chase didn't finish the game, he was able to lead on the sidelines too, so I'm really proud of the entire team.
Not sure what the nature of Chase's injury is, except for they're going to look at it, and they're going to have to decide whether or not. I think that was the reference that I think Kalani made today in his press conference was like, yeah, we'll have to see what we want to do with him this week. And that is, hey, we're 3 touchdown favorites. Let's probably just look at this, and maybe he's going to miss his senior night at BYU or senior morning at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. He might miss it, but I think that Chase would be the first to tell you, small price to pay if you're playing in the conference championship game the week after.
If him not playing against Cincinnati was that moment to get him right, then great. But if there's any question, you just let him rest up. They have to have him come up big against Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, yeah. Yep. Interesting. Kalani talking about the college football playoff because, hey, look, everybody wants to know what you think you should be in that college football playoff. And Kalani's never going to be the one to give up what he really thinks about it, I think.
I'm not really worried about that. Like I said, I'm not here to campaign. I'm just here to play football and try to find ways to win the game. Let the other experts figure that stuff out. We're just going to try to get our next win next week and just be thankful for what we were able to do. Football's hard, man. I think I want these guys to embrace every moment of it, and we made some really cool memories tonight.
It's like he said experts, knowing that he was saying that the word experts means that they're not experts. Play it again.
Clearly.
Play it again. Just listen to how he said experts. It almost sounds like we had to edit out the F word or something. But here's what he said about it.
I'm not really worried about that. Like I said, I'm not here to campaign. I'm just here to play football and try to find ways to win the game. Let the other experts figure that stuff out. We're just going to try to get our next win next week and just be thankful for what we were able to do. Football's hard, man. I think I want these guys to embrace every moment of it, and we made some really cool memories tonight.
Good for them. This couldn't have gone any better for BYU this year, obviously, considering where you thought they could have been.
Was that Bennett Brower or Kalani Sitake?
Look, I don't win the CFP vote. I don't look the part. I know. I did a deep dive on Bennett Brower this weekend. I know
in my mind, I definitely pictured Kalani going quotation marks.
He's got a suit
on the
coat on.
Experts.
Let's see what the experts in their Q rating say about BYU and their record as of this week. One more from Kalani. This was him talking about Bear Bachmeier. Obviously, week in and week out, you're getting the same response. This guy just keeps showing up, and he keeps leading BYU to wins under center.
I thought he played good. I mean, there's a lot of plays that we love to have back, but I'm really impressed with his ability to play and take care of the football. And he made a lot of checks. Made a lot of audibles, and I think he put us in the right position.
It was another game that I felt like A-Rod was a little bit – I mean, look, you didn't need it because they did what they at one point at the very beginning, like in the first half, I just kept thinking, why are they doing anything but handing the ball off to LJ? And by the end, I mean, with 32 carries, that's all you're doing. When you're getting 32 snaps and they probably only had – I mean, BYU does what it does, which is control the tempo of the game. And Cincinnati doesn't love having the ball for super long. They like to score quick. BYU likes to hold on to the ball. They like to win the time of possession game, and they did. And the way you do it is with a guy who grinds. And they didn't have to have a dynamic passing game. There were some moments in there where you're like, ooh, like the guys being open as much as they have been in some of these games just based off, like teams not being able to read the scheme very well. Didn't really happen against Cincinnati. I think they did a really good job in the secondary. That the Cincinnati team did well against BYU's passing attack. They couldn't stop the run. But I thought it was a nice game for Bear. But again, it wasn't like lights out. It wasn't something to write home about. You think about what he did the week prior against TCU.
127 yards passing. We're not gonna remember that.
No, and it's probably it was
15 of 25.
Yeah, it was at one point he was sub 50% for a good chunk of it, and then he got a few back in the second half.
He averaged 3.5 yards per carry. Not gonna remember that.
No,
got the job done. Doesn't matter.
But the touchdown run was classic. It looked like
And
you've
it was
seen him do
number
that
11.
so many times this year. Yes.
Time to crown him.
Oh yeah.
Put the crown on his head.
Don't. Come on. Yeah. The AI generated. By the way, you don't have to make him look like AI doesn't have to make Steve Young look like he's no longer with us. Putting a crown on his head, and they're like, "Oh, dead Taysom Hill and dead Steve Young and dead Zach Wilson are putting a crown on Bear Bachmeier's head in this dumb AI generated thing that no one
weird stuff out there.
You can't find anything on AI, man.
But hey, to be to break a record, no quarterback, regardless of class, meaning freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, that includes Steve Young and Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Have had more rushing touchdowns in a season than Bear Bachmeier, and he did it as a freshman. It's pretty impressive.
I just love the idea of typing in that prompt. Hey, AI, can you have Steve Young putting a crown on top of Bear Bachmeier's head, and also Taysom Hill's there, and also Zach Wilson's there? And then the AI's like, what the heck am I making right now? Jeez, you people are such weirdos.
Even AI responds back, that's kind of weird, bro. I ain't going to do that.
Well, no, I tell them to keep their clothes on this one. BYU fan out there asking for some weird stuff.
That strange guy on Cougar Board? The guy that has the dreams? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know.
Come on, longtime BYU fans know what I'm referencing. There's some guy on Cougar Board that had some dreams that he shared a little bit too much information
wild
about.
Dreams, please don't.
That's all I'm saying. It's out there. Go Google it.
Go in now.
Yes, please do not Google it, actually. If you're at work, don't Google it. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got more around the corner. When we return, we've got our Jazz Daily. Jazz tonight taking on the Golden State Warriors. And we've got two things going on. You've got an 8 o'clock tip-off for the Jazz. You've got a 7 o'clock puck drop for the Mammoth. So you're going to get it all right here on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. When we come back, let's talk Jazz. Next, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
You know what's coming.
Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz.
It's time.
All season long and even in the off season. It's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. Thanks for following us, watching us on YouTube, the KSL Sports YouTube channel. You can stream it, of course, on KSLSports.com. You can listen in from so many places, of course, as well. Yeah, I've asked AI to make me a couple of Bear Bachmeier, because I saw this image produced of Steve Young and Taysom Hill and Zach Wilson crowning him the touchdown champion. And I thought it might be a bit much.
It is a little much, yeah. Little cringe.
But you can make it so much more cringe.
I don't think Steve Young, Taysom Hill, or Zach Wilson authorized that.
That's what's weird about AI.
They did not agree to participate in that gathering.
So freaking weird about AI. All right. We got lots going into this Utah Jazz team taking on the Golden State Warriors tonight. Here's your injury list here. Taylor Hendricks, he was assigned to the G League. Was that a bit of a shock for you there?
A little bit, but then you think about it, he needs reps, and he missed all of last season. He never got year number 2. And so he essentially is getting year 2 now, and would you expect a young player to get G League minutes in their second year? Of course. So is it a negative thing? I don't view it that way. I think he needs to get as many game reps as possible. Playing a 30 to 35 minutes a game in the G League might be exactly what Taylor needs right now. It's not going to impact him in a negative way.
Walker Kessler, of course, still out. Of course, Kevin Love likes to take a little rest every now and again. He's going to be out for tonight's game.
Kevin Love's out with a nap.
It should say nap. I actually would respect them more if they put nap.
Come on, put nap in there.
Or they put Golden Corral in
Golden Corral.
in parentheses.
I have a feeling Kevin Love's not a Golden Corral guy.
Chuckarama, 4 p.m.
Hey, the choice is yours.
Hey, it is. Listen, my dad, may he rest, when we would come to Utah.
Of course.
He's like, we'll make a quick stop over here. Dad, are we going to Chuckarama? You bet we are. You can get whatever you want from them. You get a variety. That's what I like about it.
I have a theory.
What?
Like,
all dads
people who went without or grew up out of the Depression or anything, thought of having all-you-can-eat food, it's a volume thing.
Yeah, and my parents...
Because food, growing up, probably for them was scarce, and the idea that they live now where they can have as much food as they want,
it was probably
regardless of the quality.
It had already... So it was the generation... It was their parents who were like... My dad wasn't living during the Depression era, but his parents were. And so they had passed down to them some version of scarcity.
100%.
And so my mom is always like, and that's why I love to have milk toast in the morning. I'm like, Mom, come on.
You don't have to do that anymore.
You can put some real butter on it. You don't have to.
Can do better than that.
Well, the pioneers made it with spit. You're like, Mom, come on.
You don't have to eat like people in 1862. You don't have to.
You got to admit, though, some of the struggle meals, they stick with you. I'll fry a piece of bologna in this studio right now and have a fried bologna sandwich.
Hey, confession.
Yeah?
Love myself some Spam.
I know, I do too. And by the way, not a struggle meal anymore. That is decisively expensive.
Well, especially your Polynesian dinners and barbecues.
No, but Spam itself.
Spam is a main feature.
Spam is
for good reason.
expensive right now.
Sure.
It's like classy meat. Since when? Oh, we got prime Spam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm a fried Spam guy with some eggs.
100%. Oh, Spam and eggs?
You kidding me? And I hit that thing with a ton of mustard, too. Gosh. My fat guy meals and poor meals got together at once, and it's a bad combo.
The combination of volume and quality is like, not good.
I have definitely had my dad being like, you do not need to have a whole loaf of white Wonder Bread after school.
Oh, my gosh. You ate a whole loaf?
Well, I mean, I put stuff in between the bread, but yeah.
Well, that made it even worse.
I had like 10. I would have 10 cheese or bologna sandwiches after
I got
school.
a kid that just eats Grandma Sycamore raw bread.
Yeah, raw bread. Make it sound like it's not cooked. All right. I don't know what we just did there.
We took a turn.
I know we did. By the way.
Sorry, Jazz fans.
Sorry, Jazz. The Jazz are 5-10. Got the much-needed loss in a close one against the Lakers yesterday, right? No, that's what I liked.
I love it, too. It was a great game. It was fun to watch.
That's what I'm saying.
It interesting at the end.
Here's the other thing.
Oh, my gosh, the Ace Bailey highlights. Yes, please.
And he didn't have a ton of points. He didn't have a ton of production.
Matter.
What you had was, I have the football game and the basketball game both up, the Sunday night game, and I'm going. This is actually more interesting. This is more interesting. And I mean, obviously, because the Rams were up early and
the game
often,
last night was a
it was
joke.
not even close. But and then once Baker Mayfield gets hurt, then you're like, this isn't even fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this basketball game, and my boys are like, hey man, they could do it. And I said, we don't necessarily want them to do it, but I'll tell you what we do want is what's going on right now. What did you have? You had what you've been getting all. I'll tell you what is becoming crazy is the consistency now of Keontae George.
100%.
Like the guy is doing the same thing every night now.
And that's the key.
You can count on him. It's not what you're counting on him for is it's great to get 25.5 points, which is kind of what he's been averaging over the past 6 games. But how about the 8 assists? How about the not turning the ball over part, which was such a huge part of what his assist to turnover ratio last year was embarrassing. He looked so raw for the past 2 years that for right now to have the improvement that he made, part of that is just being able to control himself with the ball. And that's been a huge thing to watch, too. It's just he's so much more sharp.
The assists he had in that fourth quarter run were phenomenal.
Awesome.
He looks like a legit NBA point guard. Not just like a point guard, but an elite point guard. He's playing really good basketball. Led them in scoring. I love the way the Jazz are playing right now. Do they have those lulls? Of course they do, and we're fine with them because we all know the assignment. But they're not tanking. This is not a team that's tanking. They're not sitting Lowry and Keontae George tonight for rest, right? They're playing.
No, for sure.
They're playing. They're getting better. You can see a light at the end of the tunnel this year as opposed to last year when you just didn't even want to think about the Jazz. This team's fun to watch. You can see the future now, and it's really bright. And right now the team is good enough to entertain you and get you excited about the future, but bad enough to hold on to that pick. And that is the best case scenario for this team this season. They need to show that they have a future. They need to show that some of this young talent that they've drafted is going to pan out, and they've got to keep that pick. You got to do both, and I think right now they're showing us how they're going to do it.
5-10 puts them like nowhere near being the worst in the worst.
5-11 officially.
At 5-11. Here's what's crazy is
finally on that bottom 5 in the West.
Yeah, and in
below the 10 line.
That's what I'm saying is, like, in the league, they're below that 10 line. But what's interesting is how bad the tanking teams are this year.
Oof, yeah.
I don't know if we've seen teams this far in, 15, 18, 20 games into the season.
Are teams tanking harder this year than last?
It seems like it. Don't you like the amount of
Pelicans,
losses?
2-15, lost 9 in a
Awful.
row. Wizards, 1-15, lost 14 in a row. Can you imagine being a Wizards fan? Pacers, 2-14. They've lost 9 of their last 10.
Right, and so you have the bottom 3 teams have a total of 5 wins right now. The bottom 3, it's an awesome draft.
It is a really good draft.
That's how you know it. You can tell the depth of the draft by how bad the tanking is. Not necessarily that one guy. If you only have the one, then people kind of go, yeah, odds aren't good for us. But, hey, if you get a top 5 pick in this year's, you're going to be good. You're going to be real good. All right, let me see here. Tonight's a 7 p.m. pregame on 97.5 FM. And you're going to get tip-off at 8 o'clock. So there you go. This Golden State team is confusing to me because they're old as the hills, and yet you're still getting phenomenal performances out of Steph Curry. Oh, did you see who was listed out for them? Who was on their injury list? It's their old center. What's his name?
Al Horford?
Al Horford is out, and it said, like, sciatica. And I was like, come on. You don't have to make it.
It's got the old guy injury.
Yes, you can't just, like, say
gastric distress instead.
Osteoporosis. I told you that's my favorite. That's going to be my favorite new one. All right. Let me see here. Let's take a break. Before we get out, though, I want to remind you, it's time for you to get on your computer and to start throwing down some volunteers that are your Hercules Hero of the Week award nominees. Submit that nomination at KSLSports.com/contest. And every Thursday, JJ and I read those winners off for you. Go ahead and do it. Check it out. And we celebrate the efforts of youth sports volunteers who make an impact in their community with the Hercules Hero of the Week award, sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. We'll come back. More to go. When we return, let's jump in with a Sucks to Be You. People who it currently sucks to be after a long weekend of sports. Stay here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Fortune of others to help make you feel just a little bit better about yourself. As JJ and Alex present,
yes, we got beat. We got beat badly.
It Sucks to Be You.
All right, you know what that music means, of course. The people who it currently sucks to be across the world of sports. If you made this list, you're not having a great go at it. Hey, but before we get to the part about people who haven't had a great weekend, how are the people who did have a great weekend? And you can cash in on it. 801-575-ZONE. It's that time of the week for us to be able to roll out the Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers Play of the Week. As given out today by DJ and PK. I just happened to be in the car today when I heard him give this one out. So if you were listening and you could tell us what the Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers Play of the Weekend was, then we'll hook you up with an Amazon gift card. All you have to do is call in after you know what it is. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-9663. Your Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers. America's fastest growing full-line brand. Sucks to be Chip Kelly, lost his gig. JJ, gosh, he was doing so well in the NFL for 11 games.
Man, if it's talk about a coach that's just fallen off, right? I mean, he's the head coach at Oregon, contending for national championships, and then decides he's going to go to the NFL. Doesn't work. Comes back in the college game, ends up at UCLA. That didn't work out.
But he quits there as the head coach to go be in Ohio State. So then he goes to Ohio State.
He bounces from there.
He wins they win the national championship. Yeah. He's the offensive coordinator. He kind of gets back into the good graces of coaching. Goes to the NFL to be an OC at the Pete Carroll run Raiders.
It's been a disaster.
Well, 10 points against the Browns yesterday was no good.
Geno Smith more importantly, was so good in Seattle, and now he looks like Geno Smith.
Didn't want to say it, but here we are.
That's on you, Chip Kelly. Sucks to be you.
Well, not just that. I get that you're taking on one of the best edge rushing guys in the history of the game.
Yeah.
That's what we're watching, right?
Plenty of teams have taken it to the Browns this year.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is but Myles Garrett comes in there, and then he has – you don't even have a plan against him is what it looked like.
That's fair. Yeah, he's the best.
He had a game for the ages. Well, and by the way –
10 sacks? How many sacks did they have as a team?
Oh, I think as a team, yeah. You look that up. I was just like, I mean, look, Myles Garrett, I think, has 18.5 on the season now.
It was 10. He had 3 by himself.
18.5 on the year right now. And you know that's what you guys have to plan for. What are you planning for? So Chip Kelly shown the door after he gave Shedeur his first win as a starter in the NFL. He's only started one game in the history of his career, JJ, and he got the W with it. So there you go.
There you go.
John Henry Daly. Sucks to be John Henry Daly.
This really
it's
does
a real
suck.
bummer. And as soon as the injury happened, I went, what is the deal with all these Achilles? As soon as you saw it on screen, we're familiar now with what those look like.
Yeah.
We're so familiar with that's what it looks like that when I saw the action of him going forward.
Non-contact injuries with that kind of reaction.
And that back foot kind of popping up and, man. And for the guy to be having an all-conference and almost all-American type of season, to go down and have your season over.
He's going to miss next year, too.
That's how devastating these injuries are.
I just don't see – I mean, I'm sure he's going to work his tail off, but I just don't see him being back next year.
It's a 12-month deal.
And he had waited so long to
get
a chance,
here.
And he just blew up on the scene. He was leading the nation in sacks at one point, and now to see this is just – I feel for him.
Sucks to be Dylan Gabriel. Why, you might be asking? Well, he's cleared 100% participation, still loses his job, though. Hey, Dylan Gabriel's cleared to play, coach. Medical staff gives him an all green, all go. Yeah, he's going to be QB2 this week behind Shedeur.
Yeah. Interesting. They won.
I know, but if you're Dylan Gabriel, you're kind of like, all right.
Have you seen some of the Dylan Gabriel highlights?
He hasn't seen many of them. He hasn't made many of them.
Right.
Sucks to be Justin Wilcox, one of the long list of college quarterbacks college coaches who've lost their gig over the weekend. Justin Wilcox, the head coach at Cal.
Can you win at Cal? Is there anybody out there that could win at Cal at a high level?
JJ, you've been in multiple Pac-12 media days, as have I, back when Cal was when Utah was in this thing with teams like Cal. Justin Wilcox was genuinely one of the great guys to sit down and chat with. He was super straightforward, very open. He was at Cal, and so everyone's kind of like, what are you guys going to do this year? And he always kind of punched up to the competition. You know what I mean? And he's tough, and so it's a bummer to watch him do this. So let me tell you what they have at Stanford and Cal right now. Now they played the big game this last weekend. Stanford won it. So the axe goes to or whatever they play for. I think it's an axe, right? Yeah, they have the big axe or whatever, and they pass it from team to team. So Stanford's going to take it home. So here's what Cal and Stanford have. 2 guys who are the GMs of the program that are legends, right? Ron Rivera at Cal.
Right.
And then you've got Andrew Luck, of course, at Stanford. I don't know who wants to go coach there. Don't you feel like the resources aren't great? The backing from the everybody outside of the athletics department doesn't feel like it's great.
No.
These are
no one
top
shows up
5.
to the games.
These are top 5 academic institutions. In Cal's case, they're like the number 1 private or the number 1 public institution in the country. Like, they have other goals at those schools that don't really necessarily jive with the 2025 version of what is happening in college football.
100%.
And you have these legends of their athletics departments that are going to be the GMs of their football teams. And I think both of those guys don't have a freaking clue who they're going to hire.
Yeah.
And they're both extremely smart. And you would trust them with almost anything, but I can't trust either one of those guys to build either one of those programs in 2025.
It's been shown you can win at both in the past. I don't know how you win there now with all the things you mentioned. I don't know what the formula is at those schools.
Stanford's not going to budge on the academics, and I wouldn't want you to, but what you do need to budge on is how much you're really, really looking to pay these players.
Funding should budge.
Yeah.
NIL needs to budge.
And Cal, I think, operates at a deficit. They're one of these schools. It's
hurting.
Hard to, you have to answer to the state model, and you're like, we're losing a lot of money.
Everybody in California is losing a lot of money.
It's crazy. Right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't know how long is Baker Mayfield going to be out?
Don't know. They're going to reevaluate that today. Obviously, he was in a lot of pain, shoulder sprain. Don't know how long he's going to be out, but that's a Bucs team that's going the wrong direction right now. And if the Panthers win tonight against the 49ers, the Panthers are in first place in the NFC South.
So weird. So weird. And then finally, sucks to be the Cincinnati athletic director who had to apologize to BYU this week after the blank the Mormons
I hope he
chants.
had his letter prepared earlier in the week.
I think he did because I was telling Alex Napolis before the
Looks
show.
on the schedule, like, oh, man, our students are totally going to do this. I got to have that ready to go on Sunday morning.
And then the coaches from other conferences goes, hey, guys, going to help you out? Have a little form letter. You just fill out your school's institution. And then it mentions somewhere in there that it doesn't represent our values, blah, blah, blah. That's what they said. So the Big 12 hasn't said anything, but I'm assuming they're going to find them. They fined Colorado.
Yeah.
But it's getting lame at this point for these schools. It's just as lame for the administration to have to stand up and go, hey, everybody, can we not say this kind of stuff? Like Texas Tech had to beg.
And it worked.
And other schools had to beg, and it works from week to week. And then every once in a while, you can't do it. You can't stop it everywhere. And I don't think you will. I think, kudos to BYU who just goes, we know what people are going to say about us. We don't care. We're going to up the donations of food to your food pantry. We're going to show up and ask our fans
that
to.
Made it even crazier, right?
Of course. But that's what you expect,
We need a bigotry counter here on JJ and Alex. We got to keep a running tab on.
That's your job.
Anti-Mormon chants across the country. When
Hey,
they play BYU.
can you go through? Can you go around and?
It's a long list at this point.
Maybe compile a bigotry count.
Our bigotry counter.
We'll filter through. Does that count? Oh, sure. Let's let that sneak through. Yeah, why not? So we'll.
Oregon.
Oh yeah, you
Arizona,
think about all the teams that have done it.
Cincinnati.
There are teams who are going to keep doing it. By the way.
Yeah, I know.
They're not. You're never going to stop a group of idiots from doing idiotic stuff. So, all right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we do, we'll look at the Big 12 clinching scenarios, what that looks like, how your team has to either clinch it themselves or get some help from other people, what that map looks like for not just a BYU or a Utah getting into the conference championship game, but how about for both matching up against one another? The scenario still exists, JJ.
It still exists.
We're not out of the woods yet. Stay right here with us, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It doesn't get much bigger than this as the Cougars look to earn a spot in the Big 12 title game as they take on UCF in Provo. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Happy Monday to you. Mondays are a lot of fun because we get together and jam about the weekend of sports that was. Jeremiah Jensen over there. I'm Alex Kirry. Our producer is Alex Napolis. He's in the booth. We are streaming live on our KSL YouTube page, our KSL Sports YouTube page. Go check it out. Go to KSLSports.com. You can see us right there as well. And anything that comes out of these microphones gets turned into a podcast right after our program. So everything lives in the digital space as soon as it happens, all thanks to technology.
I'll also mention 102.7 FM HD2. If you have an HD radio in your car.
If you do, comes in crystal clear.
We sound amazing. Well,
I was going to say, settle down. Jeez, what the humility.
The quality of the broadcast is amazing. Let me rephrase that.
Oh, by the way.
Everybody in the booth laughs at what I just said.
Did you?
Thanks for that.
I sound so awesome on your HD radio. Hey.
It's all you, Napolis.
By the way, we got the Christmas decor up in the studio.
Yes.
And this is, by the way, did you notice
is that a little early?
No. We got it up in our house.
When is it too early?
We're up at our house.
You know what I did this morning?
You put it up.
Just the tree.
Oh, see?
The tree's in place. It's not decorated yet.
Yeah, you got to get the family involved in that. You got to get the kids going. But did you notice our tree, our Christmas tree here in studio? Sports themed.
It's bulky.
Well, but look at it. Look at the ornaments. We have sports. We have sports ornaments. So dip into the studio. You can see the. Oh yeah, it really is.
We got boxing gloves, footballs. What else? We got basketballs, soccer balls.
This Dean Martin.
A baseball mitt.
Andy Williams. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Dean Martin. Dean Martin would have sounded way more drunk. You're right. What was I thinking? I will say, too, I busted out the saxophone this morning and started practicing some Christmas songs.
You wait, what? You did what now?
So I play the saxophone.
You busted out a sax?
And my
you went Kenny G this morning?
My kids, like, without fail, the littler ones are the ones at home. And then what I do is I practice some of these Christmas songs so that one night during the Christmas season, the kids don't know when, but I make everyone stay home and I play Christmas songs for them. And
you
I make
force them to listen to you play the sax?
Well, they sing songs and then I play along and play the saxophone along with it. It's tons of fun. It's kind of fun we have at the Kirry household. Me forcing you to have some fun for Christmas. Look, we were talking about this before the show. It's not very fun anymore with these older kids. My wife straight up said the other day, she accused our oldest. She's like, you don't even like Christmas anymore, do you? You hate it. Admit it. I said, I don't hate it. And
you know
the way
you
said
know
it,
kids
like,
officially grown up when they like Halloween more than Christmas.
I think that they just like any holiday that they know they're not going to have to be home for.
Right.
And Christmas you're decidedly going to be home.
You are stuck at home the whole entire day with your family who you hate.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, so we've decorated the studio. We hope you're decorating. Look, don't put on the Christmas music for decorating. Just listen to the KSL Sports Zone podcast. Just the dulcet tones and of happy holidays from our family to yours while you listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day long. All right. Let me see here. Let's kick the show off officially this hour with the cut. We'll jump in right here. Let's get into some scenarios for the Big 12 Championship race. It's always coming down to the last week of the season, which we love. But what does the rest of it look like in college football? Let's jump in right here, top of the hour.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program. TRAJAN Wealth.com. That's Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Did you see Jameis Winston catch that touchdown pass, by the way?
Yeah, it was awesome. He just struck a Heisman post, didn't he?
Yeah, and the guy's just he's too likable.
Stared at the camera in the end zone. Oh, I loved it.
It is we said it right before the weekend, didn't we? We're like, you know what's going to happen? He's going to throw for a bunch of touchdowns. They're still going to lose. I think he personally accounted for like 500 yards.
You should have started him on your fantasy team. I'm not kidding. I think he was the second highest scoring quarterback.
It's crazy. And then they still almost won that dadgum game in Detroit.
Did you know they fired their DC today?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's following. Everybody's leaving. You would after that performance, and then also after. I mean, frankly, the Denver game kind of put everybody on job watch, right? And so that was rough. Anyway, bottom line is that was cool. Jameis Winston did exactly what we thought he was going to do. Just be a lovable guy. The team still loses, and somehow we still like him. There you go. Big 12. Here's how it works out. From the what I love is that the Edward Jones Big 12 championship is because you saw that Dr. Pepper no longer they got beaten out by Edward Jones. It's not as cool. The Dr. Pepper
Edward
Big 12
Jones.
I know. So it's not just the Edward Jones Big 12
Dr. Pepper
championship.
had that whole ad thing around.
I know.
The fake football.
I know, and those kids throwing the footballs through the. Is Dr. Pepper still going to do the balls through the can thing? And they're like,
they don't even throw the balls.
They're like, they're just lofting them
Everyone
up there.
found out that they even had to get analytics involved in that.
I love it.
Analytics ruined the Dr. Pepper
But what was it doing?
toss.
It was getting kids tuition. So I was like, it's good.
Yeah.
Even if they have bad form and the kid gets 6 balls in, then he suddenly has $60,000 of tuition. Like that would have gone a long way for me at BYU, man. I would have come out on top after that one. 2025 Edward Jones Big 12 Football Championship Tiebreaker Central. That's a real thing. Tiebreaker Central. BYU clinches with a win over UCF. Boom. There's another way they could do it. They could actually clinch before even taking the field against UCF.
That's right.
You almost would prefer that. No, not really. But it would be nice to, because if Arizona State loses on Friday night in the Territorial Cup, which they could very well do. In fact, I think they're dogs, right? Arizona State
is not favored to win that game.
They are down in Tucson against an 8-win Arizona team, by the way. And if they lose, BYU clinches its spot already before they even kick off against UCF. Now, here's my favorite way for BYU to be able to clinch. A Texas Tech loss, an Arizona State win, and a Utah win. No idea how, but there you go. But also, you know what that means? If Texas Tech loses, Arizona State wins, and Utah wins, Texas Tech is not your team going to the Big 12 championship.
That would be wild.
Guess who?
Rematch.
Guess who?
Rivalry
BYU and Utah.
rematch.
Yeah, so Utah clinches, and that's the only way Utah gets in, by the way.
Right.
They have to beat Kansas at Kansas. They need Texas Tech to lose. They need Arizona State and BYU to both win.
Yes.
And if that happens, listen, what's crazy about this is not that far off of what they needed to have happen when Oregon State weirdly came back and beat Oregon.
Right. It's very similar.
On the last play of the game, in the last moment of the season for them. So beating Kansas at Kansas, great, get it done. Texas Tech losing, who are they playing? West Virginia.
How could that happen?
That's a tough putt. That's a tough putt.
Where's the game being played?
Oh, who freaking cares?
No, I care. Where is it being played? Is that a road game for the Red Raiders?
I probably is in Lubbock.
I mean, nobody has thought to care at this point, but I'm just curious.
Texas Tech, West Virginia. It's in Morgantown?
Oh, drama.
Boo!
What are the possibilities?
I mean,
I'm looking it up.
What's Texas Tech supposed to do against this? I'm going to say, okay, can I guess on a line on the game? It's at West Virginia. I'm going to say 24.5. Is that exactly?
You nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it.
Boom! I should do this for a living.
ESPN's matchup predictor gives Texas Tech a 91.5% chance of winning this game. So basically, Utah's chances of making it to the Big 12 championship game are less than 8.5%.
Let me see. So they have to have all that.
Right. So Utah, not only do they need a West Virginia win, but
they need an No, is it? Hold on a minute. Let me go back to the Edward Jones Championship Central here. No. Utah clinches with. It has to. It's. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
no, Tech.
He's right, and you're right.
Tech. Tech can waltz into that championship game if they get the dub. So there you go.
Because they'd have the tiebreaker in that scenario.
Yeah.
The only team that has a tiebreaker against Texas Tech is Arizona State. But a three-way tie with two lost teams creates strength of.
So Arizona State can't get there, right?
Who?
No. Arizona State does have a clinching.
They do have a chance.
Okay. They have the oars. They have a million oars. My heavens, they have to have a lot.
I think they need Utah to lose, and
they got to beat Arizona. They have to have Texas Tech lose. They got to have BYU lose and Utah win.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one of the scenarios. Or they beat Arizona and they lose and BYU and Utah both lose. Or they beat Arizona, Texas Tech, BYU. I mean, Texas Tech loses, so does Utah, but then BYU wins. That's weird. It's all over the place. So there you go. Okay. Is
that clear? Does everybody understand that?
Who cares? Like the reality is
the odds are overwhelmingly that Texas Tech and BYU are going to be playing in that Big 12 championship game. And now we're curious to see if Utah gets docked for their close win against Kansas State.
I'll be bummed by it, but let's go to.
I expect it.
Let's go to ESPN's Heather Dinich, who has just given a totally fair shake this year to the Big 12.
And she's hypercritical of the SEC.
Okay, so let me put the teams in from the conferences that she's going to have in. Okay.
Does she have 8 SEC teams in this week?
She has BYU and Utah staying at 11 and 12, which I don't see them going anywhere. But here's what it says: you beat Cincinnati. BYU passed its toughest remaining test of the season and earned another road win against a team that was ranked by the committee, albeit for a fleeting moment. BYU's October 18th win at Utah still will resonate in the room after Utah found a way. But here's the part that still keeps coming up. This is why I can't stand Heather Dinich when she writes these things up. BYU's only loss was against number 5 Texas Tech, but it was such a poor performance that it raised eyebrows in the committee meeting room. She's still talking about it. Does that come up in the conversation? That you lost to the number 5 team in the country and like they really beat you. I don't get it. I don't get it. Is getting beaten by the number 5 team worse than barely beating like a 3-win team?
Apparently not.
I don't get it. So Utah's not in there. Fine. Here's what she said about Utah. Utah found a way to escape Kansas State. It's only lost her to the Big 12's two best teams, Texas Tech and BYU. The committee considers a team who lost as part of it's deliberations. The Utes' best wins are against Arizona State and Cincinnati, but they lose the head-to-head tiebreaker to BYU. Okay, whatever. It's just all right there. Okay, so here is what it looks like, because I think they do these and they kind of go, here's what the rest of, and so who's in and who's out. Well, they have 11 and 12 as BYU and Utah. The first team's out again. So that's the projection. So for her, it's Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon, Oklahoma, Notre Dame at 9, number 10, Alabama. And it won't change. It's not going to change.
Probably not.
The thing that's crazy is just ignoring that this week even happened for the SEC, who all played nobody.
I think, this is my opinion, every SEC team that played an FCS,
they got to go down
11,
one.
You get docked at least one spot, maybe two. And I know they finally decided to cave and do the 9-game thing, and they're not going to do that anymore, but they should be punished for it.
It'll make a difference.
It's a joke.
But you're right, yes.
And then they have the nerve to turn around and say that their schedule's harder.
Yeah.
Baloney.
My question is this. When Miami gets in, I don't know why she has Miami as the ACC champion. I don't know why she has
They're
that.
not going to get in that game.
They're not going to even play in that game. So then what happens? They're going to still put Miami in somehow. I don't know where they're going to jam them in there.
Well, they've got to strengthen Notre Dame's resume.
Right, but how are you going to sneak Miami in? What I'm saying is you're going to have an ACC champion who's not Miami have to get in, which is another flaw to this system. According to the college football playoff people, Miami's a better team than all the other teams in the ACC, right, even though they're currently ranked 4th in the ACC by standings.
Right.
So that doesn't work because they're going to have to shoehorn in a UVA or a who else?
Pitt.
Or a Pitt.
SMU's in the mix.
They got to shoehorn one of those teams in.
Beat SMU this year?
Tulane. What?
TCU and Baylor.
Both of those teams did.
And SMU, if they win the ACC championship game, would get in the playoff again.
2 years in a row.
After
Go
losing
Stangs.
to both
right.
two mid Big 12 teams.
But see, at that point, they'll be the 12th or 11th or 12th ranked team in there. So then where are they going to shoehorn Miami in?
They can't.
They'll try to.
But they're 13th right now, and they're going to move up.
I know.
In front of Utah. I promise you.
JJ thinks they're going to move ahead of Utah. I have a little bit more faith in humanity than that. So I'm hoping that you're proved wrong tomorrow, but we'll see. Because in some respect, they don't really care. But Tulane could get in as the American champ.
Whoever the American champ is, whether it's North Texas or Tulane, that's who is going to be in that game.
I think LSU beating Oklahoma this weekend.
Oh, that'd be great.
Would be a huge gift. I think that is probably a little bit more of a possibility than any of the other things we just talked about, right? So, okay, here are the ACC standings. Virginia is number 19 in the country, and they're in the lead right now at 6-1. And if they beat Virginia Tech this weekend, then they go to the ACC final. If SMU wins this weekend at Cal, who just fired their coach, they go to the ACC final. Miami has to have Virginia and SMU both lose to go. How is this possible?
Yeah.
They go. Miami plays Pitt.
Yes.
And if they win, they also have to have Virginia and SMU lose. How does she just so confidently put them like, you're ACC champs, Miami? They're 5th place right now on this freaking list.
Here's another doomsday scenario.
What
for
are we
ACC.
doing, ESPN? What is she doing?
Doomsday scenario for the ACC. What if?
Oh, tell me Duke is still alive. No, they're not.
They're
Dang
not.
it.
But let's say SMU wins the ACC championship. What if both Tulane, and James Madison are ranked ahead of SMU. You know what happens? The ACC does not get a bid.
Are you kidding?
No.
Is that the only way? But it's not like that's a great replacement.
Top 5
you could potentially,
champions.
You could potentially have.
Remember what almost happened last year?
JMU and SMU take a playoff spot from BYU.
Well, they would take it from the ACC. They're not going to take it from BYU.
I think they would. I mean,
no, because only the champions would get the automatic bids. You understand what I'm saying?
But the
5 highest ranked champions,
yes,
get a bid.
Right.
The ACC would be the 6th highest ranked champion.
So they're out.
They would be out.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you
and
put
Miami
2,
would be like 11 in the college football playoff rankings, but they never got to play in the championship game, so they didn't make the playoff. And SMU is ranked too low, so they don't get the ACC in. That's a doomsday scenario that could happen to the ACC.
But you know what? I almost want it to happen so that the college football playoff committee has to pump up James Madison and SMU, or James Madison and Tulane for these games. Can the Green Wave take out Texas Tech? This got like a picture of Jake Retzlaff scrambling.
Are you watching that game?
Probably. Can James Madison? My favorite is the promo will be like, can James Madison, at the bottom of the screen it says insert quarterback name here at the bottom. Can James Madison's quarterback get the win this weekend over Ole Miss? That's what we're looking at.
A James Madison Ole Miss playoff game?
Oh, I will Ole Miss it.
James Madison barely beat Washington State on Saturday.
Oh, my goodness.
There's all kinds of crazy stuff that could happen here, and the ACC is really interesting because
I still want to know
what I just mentioned.
I still want to know what Heather Dinich is doing writing in Miami as the ACC champ.
It's a wish, Alex.
She's penciled them in.
She wishes. She hopes.
She's penciled them in as the ACC champ.
Just like the powers that be want Miami to be the ACC team, but it's not going to happen.
They're in 5th place. They need a tiebreaker of them beating Pitt at Pitt, first of all.
And SMU and Virginia
both losing. What are we doing? Heather Dinich, what's going on that you're still trying to push this? We see right through it.
Well, I guess technically, well, yeah, I guess that's the scenario they'd have to play out.
So weird.
What a mess.
All right.
Fascinating.
I'm glad we got through that. I'm glad we figured it out. I'm glad that now I will say this. I was looking at I think ESPN put it together with I think Kyle Bonagura and let me see who else puts these together. Oh, and Schlabach, what's his name? Those 2 dudes.
Yeah.
And Mark Schlabach.
Yeah.
They put together this thing, and their playoff, according to their first round, looks like North Texas going to Texas Tech. And then one of them has Tulane going to Texas Tech. And then the 11, are you ready for this? They have SMU winning the championship, which is more reasonable because that's a team that could actually go to the ACC championship game. So 11 SMU going to Ole Miss. Or 11 SMU going to Oregon. That's what you're looking at. North Texas and SMU are going to take your spots from you in the college football playoff. Could Utah beat SMU tonight? Could Utah beat SMU tonight if they were asked to play them?
Oh yeah,
on the road they could go on the road and beat them tonight.
I think they'd beat them thoroughly. Do you know who technically is still alive in the ACC?
Duke's out, right?
No, they're not.
Dang it! I was hoping. No,
they're
in.
Still alive.
5-4 Duke.
They're not. They're 5-2 in conference.
Oh, sorry. What is their overall record though? It's like 5-5, right?
It's 6-5.
Get them in, please. Get them in.
Again, that scenario. If Duke was the team to get in,
get them in.
It's not likely.
No, of course not.
But it's possible.
Yeah.
Miami needs Duke to lose in order to get in. That's how bad of shape Miami's in.
So, and then on top of all that, one of the projections also has, if you're talking about who's going to be in which games, let me see here. It would be BYU versus USC in the Valero Alamo Bowl, according to these guys. So there you go. Have fun down there. What's the date on that one? The 29th? Or no, the 30th. Should be fun. Should be a lot of fun down there at the Alamo Bowl. Again. That sigh is a sigh of frustration with the whole thing. Because Notre Dame, we saw this train wreck happening in slow motion since week 2. When they lost their second game, we went, they're going to win 10 games in a row, and they're going to go to the freaking college football playoff.
Yep.
And then we told ourselves at the beginning, when they were 1-2, we were like, they won't really do that, though, right? They won't really put them in there if they win 10 in a row. And when we got to like 4-2, we all looked at each other because all the people were like, oh, tripping over themselves to put them in as far as they could up the freaking rankings. Please don't pull that drop. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We got more to go. Stand by. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Before we get into the NFL Blitz, I did want to just mention two things. Number one, Hans and Scotty tomorrow are going to be at Tim Daly Nissan Southtown. 111-55 South, Jordan Gateway at South Jordan. 111-55 South. South Jordan, Tim Daly Nissan, home of the forever warranty. Second thing I want to mention was this. Just entertain me for one moment, Jeremiah, for one moment, please. Because I'm looking at all these scenarios of all these stupid teams. And they are stupid. Like some of these teams who we're talking about getting into the college football playoff. Because if SMU wins the ACC championship, which, by the way, they're going to win, and they're going to go to the ACC championship game against Virginia, who's going to win, and they're going to go to the ACC championship game. Miami's not even going to sniff it, okay? SMU lost this year to Baylor and to TCU. You pointed out they also lost to Wake freaking Forest.
Gross.
Okay?
Come on, man.
So these are the teams that are going to be repping the other power conferences, right? Fine. But let me bring this up. I want to bring up the case study of Ole Miss, who right now is, they're having a great year. The thing is that they're having a year, they're going to have a year that is going to be marred by the fact that their coach is going to leave. And he's probably going to leave or at least it's going to be announced where he's going to be going. How much does your team play for you after that's announced? Are they going to allow him to coach through the rest of the season? If they feel slighted and he goes, but I'd love to coach the rest of the way, Ole Miss might make the decision of this guy could get us to, even temporarily, to the best spot we've been in a while. Let's just keep him on and let him coach. If Lane Kiffin doesn't actually coach Ole Miss after this week, if you're the playoff committee, why would you, and let's say they lose the Egg Bowl, and they go down.
At that point, if they win the Egg Bowl and the scenario plays out with one loss,
they'll be in.
They'll be in. 2 losses.
But my question
is, scenario, they're out.
That would be interesting. They could dock Ole Miss for not having they could dock Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin
for sure
for the instability of not having a head coach there, because he could be going to another team.
They docked Florida State for not having their starting quarterback.
Yeah, you're right.
Why can't you do it same thing with the head coach?
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're not the same team without Lane Kiffin, right?
What a wild thing.
You can't. You have to consider that.
What if these kids, they go 10-2 and their spot in the college football playoff was actually going to be decided by the fact that their coach left? That was a big decider. That was a big decider. And so the punch in the gut is the guy who recruited you is leaving. And the other punch in the gut is that leaving actually made it to where nobody wants you in the college football playoff because they don't believe in you.
And it ruined your season. It took something away from you that you earned.
Congratulations to all those Ole Miss players who are going to be LSU players next year under Lane Kiffin.
In the portal?
Yeah.
After the selection committee makes
congrats,
choices.
because it's not just him that's going to make all that money. You guys are too. Congrats. Let me see here, because he'll take that quarterback with him.
For sure.
That what's his name?
His name escapes me right now.
He's got a fun name, though. Fun name. Anyway. It's just a mess, man. All right. You know what's not a mess? The NFL. Way easier to figure out. We already know what those lines are that are drawn.
Trinidad Chambliss.
That's
Sorry,
it.
a little late.
Chambliss.
Sounded like I didn't hear you. Or I heard you and it took my brain a minute to process what you said.
Highlights from the locals in the NFL from this week. JJ, who did the best across the world of the NFL who have ties to this here community?
It was pretty sparse this week.
Yeah, it was. Some injuries,
a lot
of course.
Injuries.
Hurt,
I mean,
yeah.
I would start with Puka Nacua. 7 catches, 97 yards. Didn't get in the end zone, but he continues to pile up some pretty big numbers. Devin Lloyd had a nice game. 1.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss.
Yeah, that's nice.
5 quarterback hits in the Jags' overtime win over the Cardinals. They're a game back of the Colts now. They're right on their heels. Jalen Warren got in the end zone, 68 yards rushing. They were worried he wasn't going to play. He's got an ankle injury, but dude's tough as nails, as we know. So that was good. Jordan Love didn't have his best statistical game, but he did lead the Packers over Minnesota, and the Packers are keeping pace with the first place. Checks notes. Chicago Bears? ? Yes, the Chicago Bears are in first place and won again. They're 8-3.
Yeah,
How do I process that?
I have a hard time wrapping my head around it.
Are we buying the Chicago Bears?
Here's the thing: is I don't really like. It's funny because we won't really allow ourselves to go all in on it because none of us here really like Caleb Williams. Let's just freaking be honest.
Did you see the play he had with the safety?
I know. It's hard not to appreciate what the guy's doing on the field. Here's what's even more wild is we're like Ben Johnson, first-year coach. Never heard of him. Move on. Like the guy should be coach of the year right now. Who wins with the freaking Bears in year 1 with that doofus of a quarterback under center?
If it weren't for Shane Steichen, I think he's probably number 2, right?
I mean, it's crazy.
Sean Payton for the Broncos?
Oh, stop with all that noise.
Well, I mean, you got to look at New England too.
Hey,
you know who has the best record in the NFL right now?
If we're already doing that,
the New England Patriots are 10-2.
Don't forget about Annapolis's Rams and their head coach.
I think the Rams are the best
Sean
team in the league right now.
They might be. And what's bonkers is I don't care who they put in. Matthew Stafford finds every one of them open. That
he can
passing
throw to him
offense,
without looking.
I know that passing offense is just bonkers.
He's a Jedi.
But what's crazy is they're actually playing really, really good defense too. So kudos. It took us all show long, but kudos to your Rams, who are just in front of my 8-3 Seahawks. Come on, let's go. I wouldn't have said a thing if the Seahawks would have lost yesterday, by the way, to the lowly, who are they playing?
Titans.
Oh, yeah, the Titans. Yeah. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We got more to go. When we return, we'll get you ready for the Utah Mammoth that are coming up top of the hour here. So stay right here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
Best and worst, we're just going to call it the best, of course, being
Hopefully it's not the worst tonight.
at the Utah Mammoth.
Come on, Mammoth.
They got the win, of course, over the New York Rangers the other night on a Saturday night. 3-2. Can't get away from that score, can they? But this time it was in their favor. They get the 2 points. That's all you're asking for. What do they do this round against this Golden Knights team who's coming back to Utah only 4 days after they had beaten this Utah Mammoth team 4-1, and it wasn't even that close. It felt like this was a struggle of a game for them last week, and the Golden Knights are one of the best teams in the West. How can they figure this out tonight? What do you need to see out of this Utah Mammoth team tonight, JJ?
Higher level of offensive production because I think they're going to have to outscore Vegas tonight.
I think you got to be pissed too, right? Like they were
for sure.
They got pushed around physically by
That's
Vegas.
what we're lacking from this team, right?
Yes.
We've talked about Ian Cole called out the team last week. We talked about it with Bears. This team needs to act like they care. And so you lost to this team recently on your own ice. Go take it to them tonight. It's kind of like in the playoffs, right? When you're playing a team a lot in a certain period of time, you should be able to make some adjustments and go out there and get the win and respond. If not, you feel like the Mammoth are looking up, looking up above and seeing the Golden Knights there way above. The Mammoth need to prove that they can play on the same ice as the Golden Knights. They got to do that tonight.
So it was only a couple of weeks ago that the Golden Knights went on a 4-game losing streak. Actually, they lost, and they lost 5 out of 6.
Yeah.
They got back on track by beating the Rangers and beating the Mammoth. But then they lost again. They went down to Anaheim and lost to Anaheim. So them coming back to Delta Center tonight is an opportunity for the Mammoth to get a Golden Knights team that hasn't been perfect this year by any means and you absolutely can. So keep Eichel out of the scoring sheet tonight, man. Like, figure it out. So
Marner, I mean, they're loaded. They're Vegas, and they've got pop line players. Get a win.
That's all brought to you by the good folks at Doug Smith, of course, in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. We'll get out, and we'll bring it all back again to tomorrow on a JJ and Alex right here, 3 to 6 tomorrow. We'll see you then, everybody. 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Stick around for the Utah Mammoth.